Welcome to Creatively Using the Creative Suite. Here's your host, Eric Burnskill. Hello and welcome to the Creatively Using the Creative Suite podcast. My name is Eric Burnskill, and today I'm gonna show you and talk about one of the online features available in the CS Live sort of application suite from Adobe, which you currently, when I'm recording this, get as a complimentary subscription when you register Photoshop or any of the other Creative Suite applications. One of the applications or web apps in this sort of suite of services is called BrowserLab. And if you're developing a website or if you're a web developer, this is going to be so useful for you. What it does is basically a service that allows you to preview how a website looks in a series of different browsers. It spares you from having to have test systems, both Mac and PC, and all the available browsers here and back versions of them. So BrowserLab helps you with that. And hey, it's also free. So if I go to browserlab.adobe.com, it's going to sign me in. And if it doesn't, just use your Adobe ID that you used to register, and it's going to just sign you right in here. And once it loads, it'll give us a little panel with some news and updates, some tips and tricks. And what I can do here is go to my browser sets first and foremost, and it allows me to set up some different tests that I can run any website through. So by default, you get a default browser set, and it's going to test Firefox 3 on OS X, Safari 3 on OS X, Firefox 3 on Windows, and IE 7 on Windows. And you can expand these, as you can see here. But what I like is creating my own tests. I've got a hard test where I test almost every available browser and version. And I also got an IE test for when I just want to test some IE versions. But what I thought we'd do is create a new browser set, and I'm going to call that a standard test. So this is what I probably do want to test in. By default, I usually leave Safari and OS X alone because that's my main development browser, and I'd probably leave my main development browser out of the BrowserLab test because, hey, that's one I use. So if you're using Internet Explorer 9 to develop in, you probably don't need BrowserLab to view this. So I'm going to do Internet Explorer 9, 8, and 7 on Windows because those are the most widespread. I've given app support for IE 6, so no worries there. I'm going to test Firefox 4, and if you want, you can test Firefox 3.6. I'm going to test it on Windows. I'm going to test 3.6 on OS X, and I'm going to test Chrome 10 on Windows. And Chrome automatically updates, so there should be less worries that your Chrome isn't up to date. All right, so this is going to be my standard test, and let's go on to the test area here. And BrowserLab lets me type in the URL here, so let's go ahead. Whoops, that was not the URL I wanted. Let's go in and type burnskillmedia.com. I'm going to reload here. And let's see, it's going to go ahead load in all of the other browsers here. And the while it takes depends on how many others are using the service at the moment. But usually it's fairly speedily. And here we get it. And we can see that in Internet Explorer 9 on Windows, it looks great. There are no faults on the website. And then I can go through from the drop down here, and I can view the individual ones, IE 8, and now is when I'm crossing my fingers, oops, IE 7, darn it, it breaks. All right, and I can go through here. So let's see, Firefox 4 on Windows, still looks good. Firefox 3.6 still looks good, and Chrome still looks good. And this is brilliant, right? So this is a very easy way to check how your websites are doing. What I can also do is I can view different types of views. Right now I have my 1-up view. I can go to 2-up view so I can compare. Let's say I compare IE 8 with IE 7 side by side. I can also do a very interesting onion skin. So I can overlay them to see the difference. And I can use the slider here to say how much I want to show off Internet Explorer 9 compared to Internet Explorer 8, and I can sort of see visually what's changing here. And In this case, we see the differences between these two versions, and they're subtle, but they exist. And I can choose any of the versions here. So let's comparing here. We're comparing in Explorer 9 with Chrome 10, and I can do the same comparisons here. And we see the website even shifts a little when comparing it here. So that's a very nice way of viewing this. In the one-up view, I can also add a little grid here, so I can zoom in, see, and I can also take screenshots using this little grid area that I can use to position this, right? So it's a very nice feature. It's Adobe BrowserLab, allows you to test the website and compare different views in different browsers to see how your site's actually doing and how it's looking across the browser spectrum. So Adobe BrowserLab is free. And that's it for this week's episode of the Creatively Using the Creative Suite podcast. My name is Eric Bernskill, and I'll be seeing you back next week. Bye-bye.